Holmes. Then Dr. Holmes. Hello. 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 So we are now going to start today's program. Now our institute anthem will be played. Please wait. Institute anthems will be played now.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
Now with this,
welcome. Vice President has joined. Vice President has joined.
Good afternoon, Vice President, sir.
Welcome, Vice President. Welcome.
To start with,
नमस्कार सर. नमस्कार.
To start with, let me introduce myself. I am Shantanu Bhattacharya, Chairman of Srirampur Hooghly Chapter, and I am now giving you the welcome address. Good afternoon, respected CMA P. Raju Iyer sir, President of our Institute, respected CMA Vijendra Sharma sir, Vice President, respected CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay sir, CCM and Chairman Task Force of MSME and Startup, CMA Dr. Shubhro Michael Gomes, Secretary Task Force of MSME and Startup, Honorable Speakers, CMA N. Ravindranath Kaushik sir and CMA Josna Rajpal Madam, my colleagues in the chapter managing committee, and all members and students of our institute who have joined this program. I welcome all of them in this afternoon event meant for observance of April 2022 as MSME month. In fact, Task Force on MSME and Startup of our institute has given a clarion call to regions and chapters to observe April 2022 as MSME month. Srirampur Hooghly chapter has organized this event on the topics Perpetual Sustainability of MSMEs with emphasis on various MSME schemes. Learned speaker CMA N. Ravindranath Kaushik will deliberate on this subject. We are also waiting to hear from CMA Josna Rajpal on way forward for value addition to and by MSME sector. I am grateful to CMA N. Ravindranath Kaushik ji and CMA Josna Rajpal Madam ji for their willingness to speak as and when I contacted them. MSMEs are the backbone of Indian economy in terms of their contribution to the country's GDP, exports, and employment generation. MSMEs require to be nurtured effectively so that they maintain their health. The micro, small, and medium enterprises sector contributes significantly in the economic and social development of the country by fostering entrepreneurship and generating employment opportunities. These points lead to the conclusion that perpetual sustainability of MSMEs are the crying need of the hour. Again, as the MSMEs are considered as the as the engines of economic growth, so way forward for value addition to and by MSME sector is most important. With this, I conclude my welcome address. Now I invite Dr. Gomes, CMA Dr. Shubhra Michael Gomes, Secretary, Task Force and on MSME and Startup. Dr. Gomes,
Yes, sir.
Dr.
You're able to hear me, sir?
Dr. Gomes, have you joined?
Yes, sir.
So please start. To
Very
introduce
good evening.
Dr. Gomes is the Secretary, Task Force on MSME and Startup of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Dr. Gomes, please.
Thank you very much, sir. A very good evening to all of you. And on this auspicious occasion of ours, being the institute of ours celebrating April 2022 as MSME and Startup Month, I welcome the endeavor of our chapter. And I'm very pleased to know that these sort of initiatives have been taken at grassroots levels also. At the outset, as the Vice President of our CMA Vijendra Sharma is here, thank you, sir, for your continued support. I am also to put on record that our Chairman of the Task Force for MSME and Startup, CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, has been a visionary in this regard. And this is not the first time the Institute is celebrating this sort of month. It's the second. And the various endeavors which the task force has taken is on 12th of April last, we had organized a physical event which had been a major departure from the events which had been taking place, wherein we invited around 30 women entrepreneurs to share their experiences. And not merely that, placing forward their success stories, the difficult times and the hindrances faced. Within that program, we also found the government officials, namely from KVIC, MSME Development Institute, MSME Tool Room, talk about not only the schemes available for MSMEs, but how to take proper advantage of those. Furthermore, also trying to extend a helping hand. Please do note that the Institute has not remained silent merely as an audience to it, but the Institute also highlighted the various courses available to the professionals who can gain advantage of these and become MSME mentors, MSME Mitras, and also play a vital role in decision making involving the government and the policymakers. Sir, I remain because the esteemed speakers are awaiting, and I congratulate once again the chapter for their wonderful initiative. Thank you, sir, and pardon my physical absence in this because I'm in a church complex. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We have been hearing a short speech from Dr. Gomes. He is the Secretary of MSME and Startup of our Institute, and he has given the position what Institute has taken up. I think that we are the second one to invite this or to arrange this sort of program. Now I request CCM, CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, and he is also the chairman of DFIC and chairman of Task Force on MSME and Startup ICAI. So Chitta sir, please start.
Thank you, CMA Shantanu Mukherjee, Chairman of Srirampur Hooghly chapter. First of all, I keep it on record before I start my official this address, my president and my vice president are here. I convey on behalf of Srirampur Hooghly chapter to kindly change the name of Srirampur chapter to Srirampur Hooghly chapter, because Srirampur chapter was serving for the cause of the whole Hooghly district. We wanted that the Hooghly district is one of the very, very important district so far as its location in West Bengal is concerned. Therefore, we are very much grateful to the president and vice president for making this thing happen. And our name has changed from Srirampur to Hooghly, Srirampur Hooghly chapter. And this is the first program, online program by Srirampur Hooghly chapter in celebrating this MSME and startup month, called actually under the clarion call of this task force. So I congratulate Srirampur Hooghly chapter. Excuse me, sometimes it will be coming from Srirampur chapter, but always we should tell the Srirampur Hooghly chapter. And may my respected president, my respected vice president, CMA Vijendra Sharma, and my very esteemed colleagues of my Srirampur chapter, chairman CMA Shantanu Mukherjee, vice chairman Vivash Shah, and secretary CMA Prabir Dotto, all other managing committee members and members of Srirampur Hooghly chapter, and specially, and we are finding one of our very young member who has just completed he has joined our CMA family, Kritika Nayak. He's also a member of Srirampur chapter. And our main speakers, CMA Rabindranath Kaushik from Bangalore and CMA Jyotsna Rajpal from Nagpur. I welcome you all. Our president has already come, sir. Welcome you, sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome. So this is a great moment for Srirampur chapter. Basically, I want to introduce that Srirampur chapter has been continuously making themselves more and more prominent before the Hooghly district authorities and industrial units also. And Srirampur chapter is one of the chapter which is located in the industrial belt of West Bengal and Hooghly. As you know, that one of the place which was supposed to be here, which has already taken a name, that Singur. This is only 7 kilometers from Srirampur chapter. That means Srirampur chapter has got huge locationally. Many MSME entrepreneurs are there. Many of the startup units have started to they have started to establish the units near to Srirampur. So that's why the Srirampur has got a distinct entity so far as this particular sector of the sector is concerned. Therefore, I congratulate Srirampur chapter for accepting our clarion call to organize one program in this particular month. And this particular the topics which has been actually I must appreciate that you see in the district area, we have seen that many of the entrepreneurs, they are not aware that what sort of schemes are there for the sustainability of the perpetual sustainability. Government has come out with so many schemes, and today our speakers will definitely delve on those schemes, from where our members, those who are in practice, we are giving consultancy to the MSME entrepreneurs, and the entrepreneurs who have joined here, they will also be listening that how many schemes are there from the government. In fact, there are micro entrepreneurs, and in many of the central and state schemes are there, and especially the micro and small and medium enterprise sectors, they are actually having a lot of schemes. But especially Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, which is called PM-EGP, as you know, this is a credit link scheme, and this facilitates the participation of financial institutions for higher credit flow to the micro enterprise sector. In fact, many of the micro enterprise sectors, we have found from our experience and interactions with the entrepreneurs, that the micro entrepreneurs is actually having 1 crore to 5 crore. 1 crore is their investment in plant and machinery. 5 crores is their turnover. But from micro to small, if anybody has to migrate, they have to go for 1 crore to 10 crores, and that their particular turnover should be from 10 crores to 5 crores to 50 crores. So you can understand that there is a big leap from micro to small. So we always try that our micro enterprise, those who are there, they should be feeling more confident through the various schemes of the government, they should avail it. There is another scheme, Aspire, a scheme for promoting innovation, rural industry and entrepreneurship. That will also be very much important for any entrepreneurs. And there is another scheme of fund for regeneration of traditional industries. That is also being also offered by MSME Ministry. There are credit-linked capital subsidy schemes. Then for the coir industry, coir Uddami Yojana is there. And most important thing is that credit guarantee fund scheme, which is very important for any entrepreneurs to know. And for any other sectors, suppose transport, service, we will find many schemes, even fisheries, apiculture, textile and handloom. All are these schemes. These schemes are already floating in Hooghly district. Therefore, today's program will be very much important for all the participants here. We will be able to understand from the personality like CMA Ravindranath Kaushik, who is one of the very, very prominent speakers, and he has worked in hand-on-hand training. He is imparting training to the entrepreneurs, and many of the chambers of commerce are inviting him for his deliberations, for his advice. And we have also with us one entrepreneur later on converted into a practicing cost accountant, CMA, whom we consider that one of the really rare combinations, who was heading a small industry, and now she is giving consultancy to the small industries and medium industries on her capacity as a CMA. Madam, I welcome you. Madam Josna Rajpal is there. With this, I welcome all my colleagues from the council, as also my very respected President, CMA Raju Iyer sir, and our Vice President, CMA Vijendra Sharma sir, who are untiring effort is going on for making their profession visible. Sir, I congratulate you for meeting our Honorable Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman Madam, and I am very sure that with your visionary steps, Institute will definitely help the members for their further progress in their particular profession. With this, I convey my gratitude to Sirampur chapter for giving me an opportunity to speak some few words on this great occasion. Thank you. Over to CMA Shantanu Mukherjee.
Thank you, Chitranu Chattopadhyay sir. You have mentioned the scope of MSME schemes here in Hooghly district. Actually, Hooghly district have much scope for establishing these MSME schemes, and some schemes are also going on. In a high hope we can, and also our CMA veteran can expect that they can also advise the MSMEs, the entrepreneurs also. Now I request Vijendra Sharma sir, who is the Vice President of our institute, to speak in our MSME webinar now. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Respected President CMA Shri Raju Iyer sir, my colleague Mr. Chitranjit Chattopadhyay in the council, the today learned speaker CMA Madam Jyotsna Rajpal ji, CMA speaker Mr. Ravindranath Kaushik ji, and our chairman of Shriram Hooghly chapter, Mr. Shantanu Mukherjee, and all the learned panelists over here. Ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned by our learned leader, our Chitran Chattopadhyay sir, that about the name change. Actually, myself and Mr. Raju Iyer, our president, we are from different region. Raju sir is from south region, I am from the north region. It was basically Mr. Chitranjit Chattopadhyay who was very passionately following it, because he is well aware of the geographical location and he was following us like anything. I really admire him, the way he is following the MSME, the Banking Base FI Board, any initiative. Rather, we used to discuss it with my president and other council colleague. It is Mr. Chitranjit Chattopadhyay who is driving the entire council by having the very eminent topics for that relevance in today's environment. Now, let me come back to the subject. You see, MSME play a very, very important role. I am myself having MSME registrations of my firms, and in fact, being an insolvency professional, it makes lot of difference. In fact, if a company which was having the huge turnover and having the huge loan from the banks, the promoter was eligible to participate into the MSME only to as a registered applicant in case they are MSME registered. Earlier they were not eligible. But just by having the change in the status of MSME definition, they get this company registered or come as a registered applicant, which ultimately having a very, very beneficial position for all the home buyer. It was a home buying company. Now today when we go for any subject, the MSME registration plays very, very important role. Today we have very learned speakers here, those who are throwing the light on it. But sometime I take up the application for some recovery and the debtors bankers approach us. The very, very important criteria for determining what should be the proposal is whether company registered under MSME or not. We have MSME portal where a lot many opportunities and upper hand is given to MSME. In fact, there was a demand that we should have some special provision into insolvency bankruptcy code for the MSME. But the other side is the MSME is an unorganized sector. So whatever benefit MSME can avail, it is not aware of the people. So I think in the leadership of Chitran Chattopadhyay and our President Sri Raju here, sir, I think it's a very good that we should start it. And we are having this program among our chapters. But this message should be conveyed to other people, the corporate, those who are actual MSME. And we have to see how our professional cost accountant can be helpful to the MSME. Particularly after this outbreak of Corona, MSME was hurt, they were hated from all the corners. No, this is the right time where our cost and management accountant, they should come forward and try to give a supporting hand to MSME so that we can have our role as a cost and management accountant. With this, I wish to have a grand success for the program. Thank you very much. Over to the control room. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. CMA Vijendra Sharma, he has stated the importance of MSMEs and also mentioned that MSMEs are in an unorganized sector and we, the CMAs, can help them and we can give them some expert knowledge to how to improve their in their entrepreneur in the post-COVID situation. Now I request our honorable, respected President of Institute of Cost Accountants of India, CMA P. Raju Iyer sir, to speak on this matter. Sir.
Thank you. Wishing everyone happy, healthy and prosperous New Year, the Subhakritu New Year. The Subhakritu New Year begins, the name itself shows that the year will be very good and prosperous for all of us. Subhakritu name. Respected our Vice President CMA Vijendra Sharma, respected Chairman for MSME and indirect taxation and the Banking and Finance Sector Committee, CMA Chitran Chattopadhyay, respected Chairman for Sirampur Chapter, Shantanu, who is arranging a lot of programs in Sirampur Chapter. I congratulate Sirampur Chapter for arranging a lot of programs. I myself have addressed number of programs. It's a great occasion that on this day, the New Year, we are having the program in Sirampur Chapter. It's a very good beginning. As pointed by our eminent Central Council members and Vice President, MSME is the one which is boosting the economy. Nearly 50 to 60% of employment opportunities are created by MSMEs, and MSME is the one which is offering a lot of consulting and other opportunities for professionals. Chitran Chattopadhyay has brought a very good guidance book on MSME, where the MSME finance and what all the structure and how to register, all those aspects. It's a very good book. It has been received by the industry and the bank and other authorities in a very nice way. Here, as a cost and management accountant, what all things we can do? Our eminent speakers, CMA Ravindranath Kaushik and Madam Jyotsna Rajpalji will be highlighting all the issues. They both are experts in the field. In fact, they are supporting our institute in a very grand manner. And, they will be able to highlight how the as a CMA will be able to contribute for the MSME sector and how the MSME will be able to utilize our services. This is in both ways. We are ready to help the MSME in including the registration, how to change name and what are the schemes available and how to get the funds, how to get various benefits under the schemes from the central government, from the state government, and various agencies. More than 500 to 600 schemes are available, which has been highlighted in our book also. So these are all things which has to be highlighted to the MSME sector and members. And as a step, we can go to the MSME association and we can arrange the cost clinic. One of the ways is get a particular day where the members will be able to come there, and some of the cost account deputed from the chapter so that they can go to the MSME association, sit there. Like a doctor, consulting can be given on any weekday for charging some amount. So it will be, because MSME cannot afford to have full-time professionals. So they'll be able to have our consultancy in the best way possible, which we can able to offer it to the MSMEs. So MSMEs, micro, small, and medium and large sectors, it is the numbers, would be mind-boggling. So many companies are there in various areas, including the startups. We will be able to offer the services. As a cost and management accountant, as find out our name will be changed to cost and management accountant as early as possible, and we will be able to provide them the strategically how they are able to have a sustainable growth, especially after the pandemic and now the Russia-Ukraine war, which has created another impact. So these are things economically it is having a major impact to MSMEs. The large industries are able to withstand, but MSMEs having a working capital problem and how to cope with the price increase of certain items. And those are all things which as a cost and management accountant will be able to offer strategic advices, strategic support to them. So it is our institute which will be definitely taking a lead role in this and offering whatever services required for MSMEs. I am very much thankful to CMA Ravindranath Kaushik ji and Madam Jyotsna Rajpal ji for accepting our invitation, and they'll be having a excellent input to our members. We'll make it as a discussion point so that we will be able to get maximum from. I am also very eager to listen to our resource person. Once again thanking the CRAM chapter for giving me an opportunity and making this event happening. Thank you. Wishing everyone again happy and healthy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, our President, sir. President P. The CMA P. Rajwar was just delivering on the subject of MSME and how our CMAs can help the MSMEs. He has to mention in a novel way that we CMAs can help the MSMEs association. We can make a link, we can contact with the MSMEs association and tell them that whatever the schemes are available for the government of India and various other states. And that's why we can help, and we can also take the scope, take the opportunity for helping the MSMEs who are contributing much in the economy of India. Thank you, sir. Namaskar. Now we are going to the technical session of this meet. You know that we have our speaker CMA N. Ravindranath Kaushik here. He is present. To deliver his lecture. Before that, I must introduce him, CMA Ravindranath Kaushik. He is very much strong in academic side. I like to mention that he is BCom, MA, MPhil, MBA, PG Tax Law, LLB, and also HCMA. And he is also besides that, he is specialized in GST, direct taxes, project consulting, export and import, management and academic training. And he is certified in international taxation from IIT WTO studies, certified in export import management, etc. And most important is he is the member of National Agriculture Task Force member of our Institute of Cost Accounts of India, and he was presently he is the Secretary LUB of Karnataka, and previously in the year 2018-19 he was the chairman of Bangalore chapter, and he is associated with Cooperative Bank, and he is resource person of DIC, MSME Government of India, and professional member of Board of Governing Council, Sindhi Institute of Management Studies, and he also received the award named Sadhak Lifetime Achievement Award for the year in the year 2018-19 KMT. So he is a very knowledgeable person to us. Now he will speak on this subject. This subject is Perpetual Sustainability of MSMEs with emphasis on various MSME schemes. Sir, please start.
Okay, sir. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for your wonderful introduction. So, thank you for all the blessings and showers, whatever you have shown in inviting me for this particular session. So, President Ji is there, CMA Raju here. Vijay Vice President Vijendra Ji is there, Vijendra Sharma Ji is there, and our CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay Ji, who is the brain behind this MSME task force, and also on startups, MSME and startup task force. So I respected Central Council members who are there, and also I would like to extend my warm greetings to Dr. Gomes, who is the Secretary of MSME and Startups, who gave a very beautiful small introduction about the MSME activities, what the institute is carrying out, and all those things. And also, I thank CMA Shantanu Mukhopadhyaya, the chairman of the Srirampur and Hooghly chapter, and CMA Bibas Shah, vice chairman of the chapter, CMA Prabir Kumar Datta, secretary of the Srirampur and Hooghly chapter, and of course Josna Madam, CMA Josna Madam, who is will be my colleague in the today's presentation. And I thank all the members and all the people who have taken so much very drastic good initiative in organizing this program, that too on a day like MSME month, which happens to be on April 2022, what we are celebrating from last year onwards. So last year also I got a chance to address one of the chapter in West Bengal itself. So it's my pleasure to now address in a newly constituted chapter, as Chittaranjan Chatterjee mentioned, that this is a new combination chapter which has been formed, and this is the first program what we people are doing on this particular combination chapter, that is Srirampur and Hooghly put together. So I thank you, I congratulate you for the new initiative of the chapters, whatever you have formed, and I wish all the best for the chapter. So having said so, since I practice more on MSME sectors also, I support the MSME units on 3 areas. One is on risk management, second one is on project consulting, especially on preparing the DPRs and the project reports which are required for them to approach various clusters or formation of clusters or formation of SPVs. And also I support them in funding. So I have a network of people who do crowdfunding and angel funding, and also the institutional touch-up is there with NBFCs and some banks, financial institutions. So I always work with these people to support the MSMEs, which, as the chairman rightly put in his opening remarks, that MSMEs are the backbone of Indian economy. That's true. But still, the worrying factor is the government figures are around 6.5 crores MSMEs are there, but I don't know where the 6.5 crores MSMEs are actually there. Whether it is there or whether it's cooked up figures, we still don't know. Because when we see the GST registration taken by the MSMEs, it's not even falling somewhere around 70 lakhs. And if we go and see the reports of the financial institutions which has extended loans under various schemes, it even doesn't cross more than 30 to 35 lakhs. So when the numbers are showing so less, I don't know where the 6.5 crores are there. Okay, so again, that's a thing which needs to be pondering in our mind, because 82% of the MSMEs are unorganized, and 76% of them are informal sectors. So that's the main challenge which is there in the MSME sectors. Even though they are contributing towards 70% of the job market and 40% of the exports and 32% of the GDP, but somewhere we still see that the majority of the MSMEs are not formally organized. That's where our role as a professional people comes into picture. Because this government is too much stressing on the statutory compliances. So they want to focus more on compliance aspects. So yesterday also there was one mail which was circulated from the headquarters, wherein it was told that the cost accountant job is not satisfied, MCA is not satisfied with the registration of all the LLPs and all those things. We are not doing the due diligence properly and all those things. So this is one area actually where we need to be very strong enough. This is where we need to help the government, especially in bringing the informal MSMEs to the formal structure. So that's the very important role what we need to play at this point of time, because government has launched so many schemes, but as Chittaranjan Chatterjee rightly pointed out, that most of the schemes are not drilling down to the needy people. And most of them are not aware of these schemes. That's one of the biggest problem. So even when people approach to us, there are also a lot of confusion is there, because most of them go to bank and bank comes out with saying that the such type of scheme they are not also aware of. So there is a clear disconnect which is there in the system, wherein the government has come out with a lot of scheme which is very beneficial to the entrepreneurs, but somewhere there is no one to pass on this message of what is that exactly what the scheme is, and there is no one to clearly give an advice. So my suggestion or my humble request to the MSME Startup Task Force is, why don't we open one grievance thing for MSME and startups in our institute itself, where we can provide them hand-holding things about what are the schemes available in all the regional languages, because most of the schemes which comes out of the government will be either in Hindi or English. And most of the people who are doing this MSME businesses are all not so well convergent with English or Hindi in other parts of India. So why don't we open one portal wherein we put it in the major regional languages, all the schemes which are there of the government, and why don't we try to help this MSMEs in promoting the schemes so that they take the maximum benefit and also contribute towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. So that's one thing, small suggestion which I have, and I think Institute needs to take it up in a fast track manner so that we can be helpful, we can be supportive to the MSME units. That's one thing. So the next thing is about the union budget of 2022, which talked about Amrut Kal, which focused more on MSME units. So there are a lot of package initiatives which have been launched in the last couple of years, especially during the pandemic era. We know that the government came in support of announcing 20 lakh crore package, which was more oriented towards the reframing or bringing back the MSME units into the sustainability point, and therefore then go for vigilance of these enterprises, because ever since the government launched this Make in India project, the main beneficiaries of Make in India project is none other than MSME units. So they want to make this local to vocal very strong. So in order to make that local to vocal strong, the penetration of the schemes and the benefit of the scheme should reach to the end point. That's what the objective is, but somewhere it's not reaching. So even if you see the credit link scheme, it was announced, there was only 35% of that scheme benefits which was utilized. So 65% of the scheme benefit did not reach the people, either because they did not keep the documentation properly, or they don't keep the records properly, or they don't follow the formal way of complying with the statutory things. So that was the major thing. I think this is where our role as a cost accountant we need to pitch in, because most of the MSMEs, as per one of the survey which was done in Karnataka, I was part of that. We came to know that in Karnataka, 82% of the MSMEs are run under sole proprietorship type of business, and remaining 12% is run based on partnership type of business, and only 5 to 6% is under formal structure like companies, LLPs, and all those things. So you can see that 83% are under sole proprietorship, means that is, that only person who will be running the entire show for the MSME will be the entrepreneur himself. That means he will be the salesperson, he will be the production person, he will be the marketing person, he will be the finance person. everything. So he is the soul and whole of the entire MSME unit, whatever he is running. So in that stage, there is no space for him to understand what the real technology is or real innovation factors are which are there in today's business, or he doesn't know how to manage the finance, how to safeguard the assets of that particular MSMEs. You don't know how to borrow and use that money into these business. See, a lot of things are there, a lot of complications are there. I think if we as a cost accountant can work out a plan and try to pitch in here and try to work with these type of MSMEs, most of you don't believe. I have a client with me who is an MSME, who is a sole proprietor business. He is doing a turnover of 75 to 80 crores in a year. So, and single person who is doing 80 crores turnover, it is highly risky thing what he is doing. He has taken loan from all sources, but still he is able to generate 70 to 80 crores of turnover. Means you can imagine the potentiality of that person. If we bring that person into a formal structural way of maintaining the books or helping him in formulating the schemes and addressing his risk factors and all those things, if we can help him out, definitely he can turn around the business to become a medium scale industry in the next couple of years. So that's what we are presently doing here. So coming back to the schemes, sir, is PPT ready, sir?
Yes, it is ready.
Yeah, can you please share the screen, sir?
Share
So this is the experience what I have come across as a practicing cost accountant, that most of the schemes are not drilling down to the entrepreneurs who are in much of need of it. So they have taken wrong decisions and they don't know the statutory importance, or they don't follow the compliances. They don't keep the proper records and documentations, and they don't adhere to the policy of intellectual properties. That's a very important thing. There are a lot of innovations which are happening in MSMEs, but they don't know how to get patents, how to get rights covered for those inventions, whatever they have done. See, these are the critical things which is there, which is happening, and which needs to be addressed. So I have a small presentation. I'll run through some of the major schemes which are there. There are a lot of schemes which are there. So I'll not get into too much of the schemes. I will only talk about very important schemes which are there. And I think I'm not able to see the presentation.
President is coming. Sir, at the same time, I'm very much thankful to you for highlighting that 83% of the MSMEs are sole proprietor,
Yeah,
not coming into the formal way. So this is giving for cost and management a good opportunity to approach the associations.
yes. That's
So
where we need to
they
pitch
will
in,
offer
sir.
them the service,
Yeah.
because they can come into our formal mode, and we can suggest them what are the benefits they'll be getting once they come into the formal structure as a LLP, now a LLP or one-man company also, so that it will be a very good initiative from our side. I request Chitran Chattopadhyay to take the lead in getting the MSME schemes in local languages also, with the help of various chapters, so that we'll be able to approach them in a local language way.
Yeah,
It's
that
a
is
very
very
good
much required. That is very much required, sir.
Yeah.
And actually, this sole proprietor, why I highlighted that point is, these people, whoever are entrepreneurs, right, they are selling their own property, everything, in order to come out of the cluster of whatever the loans
lenders.
they have borrowed, right? So,
Money lenders.
yeah, they don't follow a formal structural way of funding also. They go to the money lenders, pawnbrokers, meter interest people, and all those things, and they borrow and they put it in business. And you know how difficult it is if you are going by paying daily 4%, 5% interest and borrowing the money and putting those things in the business. But they don't know the risk factors. Many of them have sold their properties. Many of them have sold their real estates. Many of them have sold their personal belongings in order to cover the loans, whatever they have taken for setting up the business. If the same thing they have done it as a company or a LLP, then they would have understood the importance of the liability to which they own for and all those things. So that is where I think we need to advise these people to switch to either convert them business to LLP or one-person company or a private limited company or something like that, so that they can come out of the risk of not losing their entire hard-earned money, which they have invested in property, jewelries, and car, and all those things. That should not happen.
Yeah. Okay, good, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have a presentation there, the schemes and latest development pertaining to the MSME sector. So can we go to the next screen, please? Can you just change the slide? Next slide. Yeah. So definition of MSME, I think already Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay has already clearly, I think Chittaranjan ji told about the definition of the latest changes which has taken place in the MSME with effect from 1st of June 2020. So there is a large scope of industries which are getting covered because the turnover has been raised to 250 crores and the investment has gone up to 50 crores now. So you can see a lot of companies coming under medium. So the MSME definition, the change of definition has brought a lot of big turnover company up to stage of 250 crores under MSME definition. That means the schemes are also going for the wide coverage now. So if someone is interested in seeing the SME listings, which has happened in the last 2 years in the SME listing index, you can see that there is a jump in many of the SMEs which are going for listing in stock exchange. So that is because of inclusive of the definition, change in the definition from wherein they have included up to 250 crores turnover and 50 crores investment in plant and machineries. The ongoing schemes are, some of the important ongoing schemes are I've listed there. One is the Entrepreneurship Management and Skill Development Scheme. The second one is Promotion of Udyam Registration, which is a very mandatory thing for MSME today. MSME Cluster Development Scheme, very important scheme. Many of them doesn't know about these clusters. So I will be highlighting on this particular scheme also today. Credit Link Capital Subsidy Scheme, of course, it's a very important scheme for funding the MSME sectors, wherein the subsidy is also there in the particular scheme and government guarantee is also there. Then digital MSME, which is a very highly appreciated thing in the union budget, where the government want to upgrade the present MSMEs to go for digital way, like promoting AI, Internet of Things, robotics, and all those things in MSME sectors. They want to bring those changes in form of innovation and technology. Then lean manufacturing scheme, which is a very important thing. And as a cost accountant, this is one area where we need to guide and help the industries, because saving the resources is one of the important thing. Okay, optimum utilization of resources. That's one of the major thing what our institute goal is. As a cost accountant, our goal is to bring down the resources and see that the resources get utilized to the maximum extent, and cost gets reduced because of that. So that's one of the thing. Then IPR scheme, of course, I was talking about intellectual properties. So there is one more scheme which the MSMEs come up with in order to support the innovation and to safeguard the innovations, whatever they have done, and especially to build the brand for trademarks and all those things. Government has come up with the scheme. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. Z certification. Z is nothing but zero effect, zero defect. Again, it's one of the very important quality related aspect, which is very much thrust area in a lot of MSMEs, which do not follow quality standards. So local to vocal and vocal to global, when Prime Minister gave the call. So we need to make our products not only self-sufficient, but also we need to make it for the global markets. That was the advice what he told when he talked about Atmanirbhar Bharat. So I think Z is a very good initiative in order to match the quality of the product to the global levels, global standards. So design expertise for manufacturing MSME sector. So this is also purely concentrating on the new designs and how to encourage people to contribute towards making new designs in the product, and how to encourage and create awareness about the need and importance of design and all those things. Then support for enterprise and management development of MSME through incubations. Incubators are now being set up with assistance of various financial institutions, and also with reputed institutes like IIM, IIT, and all those people. So even the efforts have been made by the government, but most of the MSME doesn't know all these things. Okay, so that's the flaw area which is there, which the gap we can call it as, where we need to pitch in. So these are all the opportunities for cost accountant where we need to come up with a very strong intention and with a very strong objective of trying to bridge the gap wherever it is there between the industry and the schemes. So that should be our role going forward. Then marketing assistance in the form of PMS, PPP, vendor development, and all those things. So there is a lot of training programs which is happening on this marketing assistance. So in Bangalore and in Karnataka, there are a lot of programs which have been taken up by MSME DIC, that is District Industrial Centers in various districts. So, and I think even in our institute can join, and we can also conduct such programs in association with MSMEs. Then credit guarantee scheme, which is commonly known as CGT MSc scheme, credit guarantee trust micro and small enterprises scheme. So it's a very interesting scheme. I'll come back to that. Tool room and specialized technology centers. So this is creating of very good tools for running the industry, and sophisticated and highly advanced tools which can be used over a sustainable period of time in order to ensure accuracy in the work what we are doing, and also in the competitive edge what we are looking for in the global market. Then testing facilities, again this is one thing, because MSMEs cannot invest a lot of money on testing and quality checks. So there is a facility center which can be set up under this scheme, and the MSMEs can go and take the support of this testing facilities in order to get their testing done. So these are all very important schemes which are there. Please, the next slide, please. So the first one, what I was wanted to discuss was on entrepreneurship and skill development scheme, which was there. This scheme, wherein in Bangalore, I will be talking because I closely monitor how these schemes work in Bangalore. So this organizes various programs for educated unemployed youth of the state, especially in motivating this about the skill development required for the entrepreneurship. So they have tied up with a lot of diploma conducting classes, like government tool room and training centers are there. A lot of vocational training centers are there in industries, and a lot of apprenticeship training programs are there, which are there at run at a grassroots level for the skill development at the young level itself. That is, at the college or going level itself, they start training the people, and it will be organized for one day. And in this program, various opportunities for taking up entrepreneurships are elaborated, and the detailed overview will be given. And this will cover even the marketing stage, how to generate an idea, how to get your business registered, and what are the basic financial things you should know about starting a business. All these things will be communicated in the skill development program. So this is called as EDP in short, Entrepreneurship Development Program. And this is basically to enrich the skills which are required for present day entrepreneurship. So they will be introducing about Atmanirbhar Bharat and the opportunities which are flowing in various areas. So they will be taking to even industries also. Okay, there will be an industry interface program where they will be taking the participant to the industry, and they will be showing the industries. Okay, and the lead bankers will also come and address the entrepreneurs, the proposed entrepreneurs who will be interested to become entrepreneurs in future, and all those things. So this is a very important program, and the government has a budget for this. Okay, so this can be run in through association with institutions, universities, and all those things. So MSME has a budget for this, and anyone who is interested, and if they can pick their students, college students or school students, whoever it is, so MSME will come and conduct the program in their particular institute itself. So this is one of the important skill development program which is there for entrepreneurship or budding entrepreneurs, we can call it as, or future entrepreneurs, we can call them like that also. So please, next slide, please. The next one. Next slide, please. I've told about all these things. Next slide. Next slide, please. I've told everything. You can go to the next slide. Okay, this is very important thing. Registration process is very important and mandatory. The government is keep on extending the dates, but somehow they are linking this Udyam registration to most of the other related schemes of MSME. So if you see the union budget, they have merged 4 of the important portals which are there, which are operating for MSME. One is Udyam Aadhar, the other one is eShram, the third one is NSC, and the fourth one is ASIM. So these are the 4 portals which are assisting the MSME in different capacity and different capabilities. Now the government in the current year budget has told that all these 4 portals will be integrated. They want to bring down all the 4 portals into one major portal by linking all these initiatives, whatever the government has launched for MSME purposes. So Udyam registration is one thing where it's a simple online registration based on Aadhar registration. So it's mandatory that all the organization, all the enterprises which want to set up their business, right, they need to do it through MSME. So MSME registration is mandatory, and those who had the earlier MSME registration also, they have now migrated it. And if you want to do it in a fresh way also, you can do it, or you can migrate from your earlier existing MSME registration to Udyam registration. So this registration document is mandatory for all your schemes. Okay, so whichever schemes you want to apply, right, you need to get this Udyam registration certificate, and this will be treated as a mandatory certificate for you to get qualified for whatever schemes you want to apply, which are there from the government. So this acts as a very important registration process. So it's a very simple process. It doesn't take more than 10 minutes to register. So it's important that we register under MSME, that is Udyam registration scheme. So it's an online scheme, and most of the things are very self-explanatory. Even a layman without any advanced knowledge in English also can fill this particular online application form and get the Udyam registration. So this registration number should be quoted in all your future scheme related offers and scheme related purpose for which you want to go and apply for. So this has become a mandatory now. So every MSMEs, we need to advise going forward that Udyam registration needs to be done. And in case if they are finding difficulties, I think Institute can take up an initiative, because in market they are charging 2,500, 3,000 rupees and all to get the MSME registration. Even though this doesn't cost anything for the registrar, but still they are charging 2,500, 3,000 in the market for getting this MSME registration. I think the Institute can help this by setting up the help desk in various chapters and help the MSMEs in that particular belt of that particular chapters, wherein the MSMEs can approach the chapter office and they can help in registering the MSME with a nominal fees, not charging 2,500, 3,000. Just like nominal fees for internet and all those things we can use, and we can get the certificate registered for this budding MSMEs or existing MSMEs also. So this simple registration mechanism has been done now. And if you go and see that there are hardly the registration process has not even crossed 1 crore. That's what I was wondering. 6.5 crores they are giving the figures, but if you see the going back and see the MSME register, right? If you go back and see the Udyam Aadhar registration portal, you see less than 1 crore MSMEs which have been registered. Hardly around 76 lakhs MSMEs have been registered under this portal till now. So this includes even the migrated from the earlier regime also, that is earlier MSME SSI registration, what was there, right? Even that is also covered in this. Since the turnover has gone up, right, I think numbers should have gone up. I don't know, still we find that the numbers are very less. So this is where the big challenge is. And the government is also finding it difficult to identify where these MSMEs have gone. They are quoting 6.5 crores and the schemes have been launched keeping in mind 6.5 crores. But when it comes to the question of implementation of the scheme and the beneficiaries who are utilizing the scheme, it is much, much, much less compared to the volume what we are showing. So there is a huge disconnect. We need to identify and see where this disconnect is happening. That's a very big thing. So I think the Institute can take up one more initiative of identifying these type of gaps, especially comparing the GST portal, because everything is PAN based now, and even we give PAN to this MSME registration also. So I think we can take the common PAN and we can try to match, and also that those type of thing we can suggest the government that this is how we can identify, and we can come up with some initiative to recommend to the government, MSME ministry, saying that these are the ways where we can identify how many MSMEs are actually there and actually performing, instead of going by the figures like 6 crores, 6.5 crores and all. Okay, so that is one thing. The next slide, please. So micro small enterprise cluster development program. This is a very important scheme. Most of the people doesn't know. I need to spend few minutes on this. Since I'm working on this cluster development program, this is a very good initiative from the MSME department. Sorry, 1 second. Wherein each district, if there are small MSMEs which are operating, okay, in a particular sector or segment of business, like example, let us take an example of garments. So there are a lot of small units which are working in these garments. We are not talking about the big companies which are there in garments. We are talking from the perspective of micro small units. So there are a lot of intermediaries or a lot of small companies which are supporting the garment industries. Okay, but they don't have capacity. They don't have training facilities. They don't have a huge investment on highly sophisticated machines like CNC machines or all those things. So then what happens? What the government has come up with the initiative. See, if you are somewhere, let us say minimum 20 MSMEs which are there in that particular district, which are providing similar or same type of goods, you are manufacturer or processing of the same or similar type of goods in that particular district, then you can register through a cluster. So you can come together, 20 people, minimum 20 they have told. So maximum, there is no limit. Minimum 20 is what they told. So minimum 20 people can join together. They can form a group and they can form a cluster. So what the government says, in order to form a cluster, you need to come up with a DPR, that is detailed project report. You need to prepare a detailed project report. And you need to get the approval from the district MSME. So you take the permission from the district MSME, submit the detailed project report, take the permission. Then you need to constitute SPV, that is special purpose vehicle, which is nothing but a Section 8 company. I think this is where the role of cost accountants are very important. Even we can also incorporate companies. We have been given authorization and we have been authorized to even incorporate the companies also. So as a cost accountant, we can help this cluster movement by preparing DPR, detailed project report we can prepare, and we can also come up with an initiative of even incorporating the special purpose vehicle company for them. So once it is done, definitely you can take the other services like taxation advisory services like GST advisory services or funding services, all those things. So you can take up all this initiative apart from the other core areas where we can pitch into, and we can even take those things also. So what the MSME department has told is first get a DPR, then get a SPV incorporated. Then government is ready to fund up to 20 crores. So 20 crores of the project cost. So whatever the project cost is there, up to 20 crores they fund. So 10% of the funding should come from the members. That is 20 people who have formed the cluster, right? So 10% of 20 crores, that is 2 crores they need to give. Then 18 crores will be given by the government. So this money is utilized for setting up of a capacity building center. You can set up a own building. You can also install highly sophisticated machine for the benefit of all the 20 members. You can charge some nominal fee and get the services covered there. And you can also set up training centers. You can set up facility centers. You can do whatever you want. Okay. So government is ready to help, but you need to have a minimum 20 people who are doing the same or similar type of business in that particular locality. So one district, one particular cluster in that particular area, operational areas. So this is one thing what the government has told. But last year in Karnataka, I worked on 5 projects. Only 3 projects went through. The rest 2 projects could not get in through that next stage because they could not get the members. So this is a very beautiful initiative which has been running across India, but only Maharashtra is the state which has taken maximum benefit of the scheme. But most of the states are not aware of this particular scheme on cluster development initiative. I think it's time for us to tell more about the scheme and to bring more and more entrepreneurs who are doing in a small way in the local areas in the same district if they're operating, and if they are doing it in a small way, we need to pull them together and ask them to take the advantages of expanding their business or expanding their market network or connectivity or all those things. So this is the right time for us to get venture into this cluster development initiative of the government. So this is the untouched area as of now, except for few states which has taken maximum benefit of this cluster development CDP, what we call it as cluster development program. And this is one area where potentially cost accountant can do a lot of services to small enterprises. So I think we need to seriously look into this CDP program, cluster development program of the central government. Okay, please, next slide, please. So I have covered this. Okay, we'll skip these things. You can go to the next slide, please. Even cluster, I have covered about cluster. You can just run through this. You can just next, the next screen, please. Next, please. Yeah, this is a credit linked capital subsidy scheme. This is again a very important scheme which is operational in the government, especially for the MSME sectors in order to provide the credit facilities, credit support we can call it as, which is very important and which is not done in a very innovative way, especially when it comes to the question of funding the MSMEs are concerned. So again, the much botheration of the scheme is that it is not getting penetrated to the lot of people because the documentation, whatever they ask in the scheme, the MSMEs are not able to furnish. So even though they are doing the business, but they still are not keeping the records and documents properly. So if you call for audited account, they say, what is audited account? We have not got any audited done. So if you ask for 3 years balance sheet, they come up with income computation statement and show this is what the balance sheet, what they have given. See, like this, a lot of gaps are there. These people don't understand. Yes, definitely everyone cannot understand each and everything. So only thing is, I think as a specialized professionals, we need to address them or advise them as to what all the basic requirement an entrepreneur should be aware of in order to see that he doesn't get he doesn't get the benefit of the scheme because he did not have documentation arranged properly, or he did not carry the records properly, or he did not keep the financial matters as required under the law. That is compliances part. So most of the things it happens like this, and most of the MSMEs, right? One bad thing what they do is they go and get everything audited and filed through the people who are not professionally qualified. So that's one area which is haunting the MSME sectors because they go and get it done from some tax consultants and auditors who are not professionally qualified. So next time when they go and approach them to give the details, they don't fetch the details. So because they are all small-time practitioners without any proper qualification and without any proper recognition, they do it. And most of the services are provided and it's not a qualified or quality service what they provide. So I think that is one of the hindrances which is there in this MSME sectors where even this credit link subsidy scheme, which is a very important scheme, but most of the people are not able to take the benefit of the scheme just because they don't know what the documentation or how the documentation needs to be kept as per the guidance norms issued by the scheme authorities. So that is one thing, and this is upfront subsidy scheme. 15% subsidy is given to the institutional credit up to 2 crores. That is within the range of 15 to that is a cap of 15 lakhs. That is a subsidy cap which is there. So you cannot claim more than 15 lakhs as subsidy, and it is only for the identified sectors. What I'm telling is identified sectors or is one thing which is very important, because most of the sectors are not getting registered properly. So there was a NIC code which was issued by the MSME department, but the people have used wrong NIC codes. Okay, because they have got the registration done through not professional people. So while selecting the NIC codes, they have selected some wrong codes. So because of that codes, they are not eligible for getting this particular benefits, because their industry is not listed under that particular sequential codes. So that is one more thing which is done wrongly with the MSME registration. So I think we need to look into the registration under which the clause of NIC they have registered and all those things, and we need to give the proper advice of the subcodes and all those things. So flexibility for review of the identified technology subsectors also emphasized. So they have given more importance to technology-driven industries. So in order to promote, because we know that technology, when you are going for change, more of capital intensive you need to shift for. So more capital intensive means you need to put huge investments in the form of buying the sophisticated machines and all technology and all those things. So this credit link capital subsidy scheme is more for funding the assets, especially technology driven assets, we can call it as. So that's where the more concentration is, where getting a capital itself, if you go for a normal term loan under Prime Minister Mudra Yojana or PMEGP scheme, then they don't fund you more. And also only they fund the 85% of your machinery quotation, whatever you are giving. So 15% needs to be funded from your pocket. But there is no subsidy under those schemes. So now if you go for this credit link capital subsidy scheme, they give 15% subsidy up to 15 lakhs. You can claim the subsidy for any new machine. And that too, it is given upfront. Subsidy is given upfront. So that's very important. So no need to wait for 3 years to get the subsidy and all those things. So upfront subsidy is given at 15%, which is equal to almost maximum of 15 lakhs. And I think that's a huge money if you're getting okay at the time of making the investments. So this is one of the important scheme. And again, most of the MSMEs who wants to expand their business with new technology or new innovative way of carrying out business, right? They are not able to source this type of funding because they don't have too much awareness about such type of schemes. So I think the awareness needs to be created for promoting such type of scheme first. So next slide, please. Digital MSME, this is one more very important scheme which is there to cater to the digital revolution which is taken up and which is ruling the entire world today. So the prime objective of the scheme is to motivate MSMEs to adopt information and communication technology tools, application in their production and business, process, in order to make them digitally empowered. Following major activities are proposed. So what are the things they have proposed is, one is development of portals, software, apps, etc. And second one is digital literacy and e-marketing involving EDCs. Then assistance, IT-related items to various state government department, etc. So today it's an era of digital revolutions. So one of the thing what we commonly find when we see a lot of MSMEs is they don't have even an official email ID. They don't have even an official website. So they are doing very good business, but they don't have an official website. And if website is also there, they have not upgraded the website. And you see a lot of viruses coming out, malwares coming out of that when you log into that particular website, or they even don't keep an official email ID for themselves. So they are still using Yahoo, Gmail, Rediff, and all those things. So when you want to focus yourself in a better position in the market today, you need to get these things right. And of course, the social media is also very important, and how you market your product through digital marketing is also a very important thing. So today, the world is changing. The technology is ruling the world today. So upgrading yourself into that and coming out of the traditional mindset is very important. So MSME, most of the MSME which are family-owned business, right, still they have not made up their mind to upgrade their technology. So this digital MSME scheme is only to focus on such people who are doing very good business, but their communication and their reachability to the global world is not happening because of lack of technology in their business. So how to use this digital platform? So what are the various ways of keeping you upgraded with the latest technology, especially in the information and communication era, right? So that has been given more importance under this digital MSME schemes. So I think we need to make use of these benefits. We need to tell our clients and we need to tell our MSME units that such type of benefits are available. We need to go to the MSME units in the districts and try to discuss with the directors there and ask them to provide basic information about how to apply for the scheme. So the basic eligibility will be again all the sectorial things which are very important and your past performance which are very important. So the main implement agency of this digital MSME scheme is district industrial centers, that is DIS we call it as, and TCs are taluk centers, okay, taluk centers of that particular MSMEs which are there in talukas, and of course the state government under the Ministry of Small and Minor Industries. So we need to go and keep in touch with those people and try to ask them about the benefit of the scheme and eligibility of the scheme and how the scheme works, and we need to empower there in order to get the scheme. So I think most of us doesn't do this. Most of us as a professional, we are not advising our clients to get more maximum benefit. These are the value-added services what you can provide to your client. If you have a MSME client in your database, right, then these are the value additional services which you can provide, and also you can get good business out of it. So I think we need to explore and expand ourselves as a professionals to know all these other schemes and try to reach in supporting the government also by making use of the schemes and also promoting the economic growth also. Okay, so that's how we can contribute towards the society and the economy also. The next one, please. Next slide, please. Lean manufacturing competitiveness. This is a very important thing. Lean, I think this is our strong area. Okay, lean is our strong area, wherein lean talks about the fewer resources and less waste. So how do you reduce waste? How do you, because MSMEs are prone to go for a lot of waste because they don't follow any techniques. Even though there are a lot of strategic cost management techniques which are available in the market, but because of their inability to pay the consultants who give the advisory services, right, in lean manufacturing or Six Sigma or whatever it is, they don't go and approach the consultant. So I think given their scope and given their industry in which they are operating and depending upon what are the investment they have done in the business, and we can give some suggestions or ideas in order to how to reduce the waste or how to favor the usage of resources in the business and all those things. So that is lean. Lean talks about that. Okay, how do you use the consumption of raw material to the minimum extent, and how do you reduce the waste which is arising from the procurement of raw materials or from the processing of raw materials or at the time of completion of the work. So waste can be at any stage. So how do you bring down the waste? So lean manufacturing competitiveness is one thing which the industry is focusing more on, and the MSME wants to promote, because when we are telling local to global, I think if Indian products want to be competitive in the market, right, this is one thing what we need to do. So seeing the post-COVID scenarios, India is becoming a very big supply chain hub. So I think this is the right time. We have got a very good opportunity for developing our internal industries. So if we can promote with the objective of Atmanirbhar and also about Amrut Kal, which is where the present budget is aiming for the next 25 years of where we need to be. So it's a very visionary budget which was announced, and most of the things were aligned with the MSME sectors. Most of the scheme budget announcements, whatever were made, right? So most of the things were focusing on MSME and making India a self-reliant economy. So I think this lean manufacturing becomes very important in this competitive world, because all these years we never focused on quality. So we never gave importance to the quality. So it has become very important for us now to focus more on quality, because we are competing in the global world today. So when we want to showcase our product in the global market, the quality becomes a very important aspect. So lean manufacturing talks about having a better quality product with less utilization of resources. Okay. And less utilization means optimum utilization of resources, what I mean. And how do we carry forward this objective into the next level of performance change, right, in the manufacturing system? That becomes very important. So this scheme is purely based on that, and the implementation agency again is MSME only. So all your district centers of MSME has this scheme. So we can talk to them. They have professionals, they have consultants. Okay, they have empaneled consultants who come to your locations. They inspect your factory. They inspect your process. They guide you. They help you out. And trust me, these are all done without charging any fee for you. Okay, they don't charge any big fees for you. And also there is a provision of financial assistance which will be given up to the extent of 36 lakhs. Maximum is 36 lakhs. And this is for the consultant services, what they are doing. So I think the growing organization can take this benefit of the consultancy and advisory services what the MSME departments are offering. Okay, and these people will come and guide you and help you in becoming a lean compliant company. And I think there is a concept of even a cluster of 10 similar type of companies which will come together, and advisory services will be given to the 10 different types of companies in order to go for lean compliant. So I think this is this is very important scheme which is there especially to enhance your quality and increase your productivity and effectiveness, and which is our again the costing core areas of productivity and productiveness, what we talk about, right? Cost effectiveness. So I think this area is one of the interesting areas which even we can also help the MSME sector in finding the MSMEs and advising them on how to better implement the scheme and take the benefit of lean compliance in their future. So the next slide, please. This is again a very important thing. The awareness about intellectual property rights in India is slowly going up. Okay, so compared to 5 years back, we are seeing a little bit of change or drastic improvements which are happening in the number of people who are going for getting intellectual properties. Okay, the awareness about intellectual property is slowly creeping in the minds of youngsters. But most of the intellectual property rights are now taken up by big companies. But still in MSME sectors, we hardly find MSMEs going for taking up the property rights. So they don't know the importance and the significance of this intellectual properties, both in domestic and in international context. So I think the awareness needs to be spread. Okay, so MSME department has come up with a scheme which is promoting more on this type of initiatives where they are giving hands-off training on how to file a patent applications, how to file a trademark applications, and in that they are giving even the reimbursement option also. So I think the slide has gone. Okay, so IP is one of the very much talked area. So in India, we see that the most of the IPs which we are getting it is all the MNCs are taking IPs in India. So 75% of whatever the intellectual property, especially the patents, when we talk about patent, right? So 75% of the patents in India is taken by MNC companies. So domestic patent share is only 25%. Whatever the patents are going, been granted every year in India, right? Only 25% is what it is coming in. So I think the awareness about patents should go up. There are really wonderful things what the industry people are doing, and they are coming up with a lot of innovative ideas, but they don't know how to secure those innovative ideas from infringement. So many times they have come up with idea before they start implementing that idea. There is already someone who has taken a patent to the similar type of idea. So this is a common thing which we have seen, and I have seen with my client 2 years back that he came up with a very beautiful idea, but somehow the idea was stolen, and someone got the patent before he started commercial production of such type of innovative ideas. So there is a scheme where the government gives reimbursement of up to 1 lakh, and many people doesn't know about these schemes. Okay, they don't know about the scheme of getting reimbursement for whatever the patent has been approved. In case of domestic patent, if it is approved, then they get a reimbursement of 1 lakh if you are opting through the MSME route. The second one is in international. If it is an international patent you are getting as an MSME, then you get reimbursement of 5 lakhs. And if it is a GI registration, then you are getting up to 2 lakhs. And if it is a trademark, up to 10,000 rupees, you are getting reimbursed. Okay, out of whatever the fees and whatever the processing charges you have paid in order to get the patents done. And I think there is a procedure which is involved here in order to apply for the scheme. Since it's a little bit of complications are there, I think cost accountants can help this MSMEs in fixing this particular schemes and trying to get the monetize done for the people who are putting for that scheme. So what about the slides?
Now running out of time, sir.
Okay, I'll wind up in another 2 minutes. Okay, I have two schemes to tell.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Only 2 schemes.
Okay.
Okay, a very important scheme. I'll just highlight those schemes and I will conclude my part. Okay.
Okay.
Can you show me that slide, or can I use my slides?
Yes.
Yeah, only 2
1
minutes.
1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
Which
So
one,
just come down. Just come down. That one. Yeah. This is the latest scheme which has been effective from 1st of April 2022. Okay, this is a scheme which is called as Raising and Accelerating MSME Performance, called as RAMP scheme. And this is a very important scheme, especially to come out of this COVID-19 scenario, right? The government has come up with this scheme, and this scheme has been assisted by World Bank also. So World Bank is also one of the partners here. And of course, the central government and also the respective state government is also part of the scheme. So you can go to the next slide. Please take to the next slide.
one second, sir. Is it?
Yeah, so you can see the total amount which has been earmarked for the scheme. It's around 6,000 crores. Okay, so the 6,000 crore is what the government has earmarked, and this will come from both World Bank as well as the government of India. Okay, out of this 3,750 crores are coming from World Bank, the majority share, and 2,312 crores is coming from government of India. So this is one of the scheme which is aims at improving access to market and credit, strengthening the institution and governance at the center and state, improving the center and state linkages and partnership, addressing issues of delayed payment and greening of MSMEs. So this program will bolster the inadequate address blocks of capacity building, handholding, skill development, quality enrichment, technology upgradation, digitalization, outreach and marketing. So if you see what all the things which have been covered under this RAMP scheme, right, it is turning around the entire MSME sector itself. So this is a very, very, very important scheme which has been launched from 1st of April 2022. I think most of us needs to now work with the MSMEs and try to see that the MSMEs try to use these opportunities to take the advantages of the scheme, which covers the entire thing, right from the point of sourcing of the material, innovation in technology to be introduced, marketing and training, skill development, everything is covered in this particular scheme. And the government has also initiated for the first time that they will be working with the center state. So since there are a lot of initiative which has been driven by state also for MSME sectors, center also has a ministry which is launching a lot of scheme. There are a lot of contradictory effects which has happened, like just PMEGP and CMEGP. There are a lot of contradiction between Chief Minister Employment Generation Program and Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. So in order to set right this, in order to overcome all these failures, right, because of not implementing the scheme, because of a lot of confusion between the center and state, now the state and center has come together in order to bring the schemes into a very formal way. So next slide, sir, please. So I'll not talk about this. Next, sir. Yeah, this is one more scheme which is there, which is a very important scheme which was launched by the Prime Minister, especially to bring together the rural economy where a lot of unorganized way of food processing industries are operating in India. So today you know that food processing is one of the biggest industries which is employing almost around 75% of the rural population, which is dependent on food sector. So this scheme especially, which is on micro, developing the micro concept of food industries, government has come up with this scheme in order to promote the employment opportunities which are there in the household, and which covers nearly the 66% of these units which are located in rural area. Government has come up with this PM FME scheme, that is PM Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprise Scheme. This is fully a subsidiary scheme. This operates not only at individual capacity, this scheme is also operating at self-help groups level, FPOs level, and also under various cooperative or farmers groups. Even at that level also the scheme is operating. There is 35% subsidy which has been given in order to promote this scheme to go into the next level of marketing or taking your food products for the export purpose and all those things. So it's basically a very important scheme in rural area, especially for micro units which are doing the business from household. That is, they're manufacturing or processing the food things right from their home doors. Okay, from there how to export and how to take it in a bigger way to expand their business. That's what the intention of this particular scheme. It's a very good scheme, and I think most of the people are not aware of this scheme also. We need to bring these schemes to the minds of the common man in order to see that they become a very good cultivated entrepreneurs, we can call them. Okay, so this was what I wanted to share with you. There are a lot of things because it's time is not sufficient to cover the scheme, because there are a lot of schemes. Many people doesn't know many of the schemes. So I would like to thank the organizers of today's program, the Srirampur Hooghly chapter, for organizing this wonderful program and inviting me to share my knowledge on some of the schemes which are there in today's MSME department. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, CMA and Rabindranath Kaushik sir. Actually, you have 38 slides, but due to time constraint, we could not hear fully. But you have in detail clarified what are the schemes Government of India has to offer for the MSMEs and how our CMA brothers can help them in their MSME field, etc. And you have also presented one survey report in Karnataka. That is very much helpful to us. So thank you, sir, for giving so much time for us. Now I am going to our next CMA Josna Rajpal. Have you joined, ma'am? Ma'am, CMA Josna Rajpal?
Yes, sir. I am very much there.
Now we will hear from CMA Josna Rajpal on the subject Way Forward for Value Addition to and by MSME Sector. Before that, I must give an introduction of her. CMA Josna Rajpal is a practicing CMA with more than 30 years of hands-on professional experience. She is a member of National MSME and Startup Task Force of the Institute of Cost Economics of India and member Women Empowerment Committee of WIRC of ICAI. Her journey as a qualified CMA took off when she was just 20. She has vast experience pertaining to several industries spanning over multiple sectors. In the initial years of her career, she handled IPO management, project financing, and developing management system, etc. As an entrepreneur, she attained milestones like getting many prestigious projects, awards and recognition and state and national level. Twice, her business idea was selected by Economic Times Power of Ideas also. She contributes papers in seminars and workshops, articles for professional journals, enjoy knowledge sharing with budding minds in the form of lectures, and contribute for our institute study material. Now we'll hear from her the topic way forward for value addition to and by MSME sector. Madam, please. Madam, now please start.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
you are.
yes,
Am I
you are
audible?
audible.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening, one and all present here. And I am really thankful to Sri Rampur Hooghly chapter for inviting me here. And so much thankful to the president of the institute, CMA Raju Iyer sir, then Vice President, CMA Vijayendra Sharma sir, Chitranjan sir, who is like our mentor for he's chairman of this MSME task force, and my guru, Dr. Sri Hari Chawa sir, my co-panelist, CMA Ravindra Kaushik sir, who has really like enlightened us a lot about the MSME schemes and all. And then chairman of Sri Rampur Hooghly chapter, CMA Shantanu Mukhopadhyay sir, and then other chapter members and my friends from fraternity. I welcome everyone over here, and I'm really thankful that you have invited me and everyone has spared time to come and hear here. I'll be sharing very small items from my side, which I have learned from my entrepreneurial journey. That is the biggest thing. Like I don't have much information about the schemes and all, but in my entrepreneurial journey and then implementing those experiences in some MSME sector as a practitioner, whatever I have learned, I'll be just sharing with you. So I'll just share my presentation. Just a moment. Please confirm me if it is visible.
Yes, visible. Very much
Yes.
visible.
Visible?
Yes.
Yes, visible, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Friends, at the outset, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the members of this chapter. And I really appreciate the initiative of our institute for celebrating April 22 as MSME month so zealously. I hope it will help MSME sector and our mother profession too. Friends, micro, small and medium enterprises are recognized globally as the drivers of economic growth, employment generation, social development and innovation. This sector is the most apt means of encashing the demographic dividend of India for its all-round growth. Here we see that what all this MSME sector is having. Like it has about 80% of total industrial units of the country are under MSME sector. Then around 30% of the 30% of this 80% is in manufacturing sector and 70% in the service sector. And out of these 80% units, 94% are micro units. These units provide employment to nearly 120 million population of this country, which constitutes around 60% of the overall employment. In this number, rural India has a major share of about 51%, and urban India is having a contribution of about 49%. And it is interesting to note that 97% of this employment is generated from the micro units. So we can just see that what kind of social support it is giving, this sector is giving to our country. And then it contributes about 30% of the GDP, which is targeted to increase up to 50% in next 2 years. And out of this, 20% comes from manufacturing, and rest 80% of this contribution comes from the service sector. Presently, MSME sector is contributing around 48% of exports. As per our earlier Minister of MSME, Honorable Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, this figure of 48% is expected to go up to 60% in next 2 years. Looking at these magical figures, we can say that MSME is the backbone of the country. Moving forward, I'll just share about the kind of industries we are having under this sector. In this, we all know that limit is 1 crore for micro units, investment limit, and 5 crore of turnover. All the routine items like food products, dairy products, garments, home furnishing, khadi, handicraft, utility services, etc., all are coming under the micro units. Then under small scale industries, 10 crores is the limit for investment, and 50 crore is the turnover limit. Here, we usually have industries like detergent, personal care, fertilizer, small equipments, etc. Then industries like edible oils, frozen food, paper, textile, distillery, chemicals, glass, leather, and many more, which are covered under the medium scale industries, which have a limit of about 50 crores for the investment and 250 crores for the turnover. It simply means that anything and almost everything required to run our daily routine requirements are supplied by the MSME sector. Here, I would like to share the basic challenges which an MSME sector is or an MSME unit is facing right from its inception, because we have always been talking a lot about the support to MSME. So what kind of challenges they are facing, which we really need to address at every level. So first of all, it starts with the like we know that the initial 7 years of a human life are very much crucial for the development of the child. Similarly, in the life of an enterprise, initial 2 to 3 years are crucial, and any errors made at this stage may continue to affect the whole of life for that project. At this juncture, we need all kind of supports like legal framework, then HR development, then credit support, marketing support, and constant innovation is the key for its success. So when we talk about all these challenges, then what is the way forward to handle all these challenges? So I'll just explain, come along with what is the way forward.
You are now not audible, ma'am. Hello, you are not audible. Hello. You are? Hello. Not audible.
Highlighted that we start something, we start the business with a small know-how, but we need to constantly upgrade ourselves to remain in the market and to continue to sustain the things. Then lot of government initiatives have been taken, lot of government schemes are there. Mr. Kaushik has thrown light on many of of the very important scheme, but I feel that there are still many more which he could not cover. He himself confessed that he could not cover due to paucity of time. So we need to understand those initiatives also, which can be utilized for, because every scheme is not applicable to everyone, but some may be applicable to someone. So we need to, as a professional, we need to understand most of the schemes, and we need to understand the requirement of our client, and then we can take the benefit of those schemes. And then last but not the least is the performance monitoring, because all these four things can support us from the outside. But if we do not monitor our own performance, we will not be able to sustain at all. Whatever government initiatives, benefits we are taking, whatever discipline we are following, whatever legal framework we have done, whatever technical upgradations we have done, but if we have not followed up with the performance monitoring, we cannot grow. So these are the, in my view, these are the 5 pillars on which we can consider that MSMEs can perform, and they can really add value to the everything whatever they do. So in case of legal framework, we can start with the business idea. This business idea may be anything. It may be service idea, it may be a manufacturing idea. And nowadays we have another classification of startup. So startup can be a mix of both, or individually both the items. So we need to start with that. Then based on that, we need to have form of business. As Mr. Kaushik very rightly said, that most of the MSMEs are from the sole proprietorship. They are not thinking of going ahead from the sole proprietorship, because they are not aware of the many things. So they need to, if they want to grow, they need to understand the form of business, that which particular business form they want. They want to go for partnership. They want to remain proprietary concern. They want to remain a partnership, or they want to remain an LLP, or they want to form a company, or they want to form a Section 8 company. Whatever, they need to decide about it. And actually, this will set the tone of the business right from very inception. Then once we decide the form of business, then we go for the enterprise registration. Various registrations at first basic is the Udyam registration, as Mr. Kaushik has thrown much light about it. I won't talk much on this. And then secondary registrations are tax authorities, registration with the tax authorities. Like if we want to grow, then we have to go for the various like GST and income tax. Both the things we need to register ourselves. And then other authorities also we need to register, like factory licenses. We go for some registrations with the labor authorities, then quality certifications, because nowadays a lot of stress is being laid on the quality products. So if we want to like stand up to supply to foreign countries, or like if we want to export, in that case we need to have various quality certifications. And then we need to have domain specific certifications also. Suppose we are going for some food manufacturing things, food processing, then in that case FSSAI license is essential. If we do export, then export licenses are required. Then licenses, suppose we are going to work for the fertilizers, then in that case we need to have manufacturing license for fertilizers. Similarly, in case of chemicals, drugs, etc. So whatever industry which we are going to start, or whatever our business idea is, we need to take the legal framework according to that. And this is very important. We should not rather deviate from taking let's start, because sometimes this mindset is there. First let us start the business, then only we will go for. So in that case, what happens that we are never able to come out of these legal clutches. So just to avoid all the complications, we need to take due registrations as and when we are getting into the business. Then second thing is the financial discipline. We know that MSME and startup entrepreneurs are really master in their own technology, art and craft. Whatever business they want to start, they are master in that. But in most of the cases, my observation is that they are not finance literate. They are literate. They are very much literate. They may be very highly educated people, but financially they need some kind of literacy. They need financial awareness. And business is all about money, and success of a business is measured only in monetary terms, whether we talk about society or we talk about institutions. If we go to the bank, he will not ask about the capacity of production. First of all, he will ask about the turnover, what we have achieved. So financial awareness is very much important, and we need to understand the financial terminology, and we need to learn the art of managing finances. We all know that one who manages finances can manage everything. So this is a saying, proverb, you can say. So we need to learn the art of managing finances. And then in order to grow, like we have become financially literate, we need to maintain a particular kind of financial discipline, because when we get the funds, if we don't manage those funds properly, judiciously, something very disastrous may happen. And in that case, those funds are being provided mainly by the bankers. In case of MSME sector, majority of the funds at the initial stages are coming from the bankers. So we must respect and honor the financial obligations. Whatever EMIs have to be paid, whatever interest has to be paid, we need to pay. And if we go hands in hands with the bankers, then definitely our journey as MSME will be very smooth. And not only the timely payments, even the submission of documents to the bankers are also very important, and we need to respect all those deadlines. Like stock statement has to be submitted every month. We need to submit. Then annual reports have to be submitted in due time. Then renewals have to be done in the due course of time. Then charge creation has to be done. So whatever way has to be done, whatever deadlines are there, we need to maintain that discipline, so that whenever we require the funds, we can go to the bankers and we can get the things and go ahead with the things. And then later on, whenever we go for initial what you call, like whenever we have grown to a certain level, then at that time we may be self-sufficient. But if we want to grow further, in that case we need to have some more financing. In that case, we for the MSME sector have been provided with two basic schemes. One is SME Exchange, where we can go for the initial public offering and we can get the money from the public. And the other one is SMILE, that is SIDBI, Make in India Soft Loan Fund for SMEs. So these two can help us in the long run to upgrade or to scale up our operations. Then in addition to these funding, we can go for the angel investments also. But those are not supported by here I am talking about the government schemes. And then go digital is very important, because nowadays almost 72 to 78% payments are done through the digital mode. So if MSMEs are, or even micro units are avoiding being digital, then it will restrict their growth. So to improve their growth and to grow fast, we need to go digital. As far as finances are concerned, we need to understand all the requirements related to digital transactions, digital banking transactions. So these are the basic financial things which as an entrepreneur we need to see. Then Mr. Kaushik has very rightly said that technically we need to upgrade. Unless we upgrade ourselves technically, we will not be able to sustain, because one idea may work for some time, but later on, due to product life cycle, or maybe due to some further things, if we do not innovate ourselves, we won't be having to get the success. I will just share a small, I think I have some time, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Shantanu sir?
Yes.
How much time do I have?
10
Do
minutes.
I have
10 minutes, madam.
10
minutes, madam.
10 minutes? Okay, I'll finish before that. Okay. So I'll just share two small examples of innovation. Became digital, then digital cameras came, then in case Kodak did not upgrade itself to the digital cameras. So in that case, Kodak became gradually, because now you see only the photographs are only stored in the soft copy. So photo quality paper is not required. Then these are all being shot either on the memory card or in the phone. So we don't require films, and cameras are also totally changed. The camera technology is also totally changed. So Kodak is totally out of the market. Now I think what they are doing, I don't have much of the idea. But at the same time, because Kodak didn't innovate itself, so it just wiped out from the market, though it was the brand leader at that time. Now, if we take another example of a success story, that is Sony. Sony was Sony was a big player, but they had a very less market share initially, because Sony cameras were quite high in price. But as soon as the technology changed, rather Sony itself changes the technology, and they came out with the digital cameras. So, and now Sony is almost number one. It has defeated even the camera leaders like Nikon and Canon by its mirrorless technology. So now Sony cameras are prevailing in the market. Those are very handy. Those are very good. So this is like, if you are constantly innovating, if MSME is constantly innovating, then definitely it can lead to the success. But if we stop innovating ourselves, then definitely our decline will stop. So in my view, technical upgradation is one of the most important aspect in the sustenance of a MSME. Not only MSME, every industry. Then we have plenty of government initiatives. We know that vision of government regarding the MSME sector is that sustainable development of globally competitive micro, small and medium enterprises as an engine of growth for the Indian economy. This is the vision of the Government of India. This is vision of the Ministry of MSME. So now if we have to give sustainable development, globally competitive enterprise, and it has to become the engine of growth. For this purpose, government is launching many schemes, many schemes. Already we have heard a lot, yet to hear many in the next 1 or 2 sessions. So, but here I would like to take 4 important aspects which are really important from the development and growth perspective. Here, first of all, is MATU, that is Marketing Assistant and Technology Upgradation Scheme. In this scheme, the MSME sector is being provided with the marketing support, and they are allowed to participate in domestic and international trade fairs and exhibitions, where they can display their product and they can sell. And here in this scheme, in this very scheme, if you want to go for the quality certifications like ISO 9000 or 14000 certifications, that facility is also being provided under this scheme. Then barcoding assistance scheme is also there in this scheme, that if you go for the barcoding, then 75% of the registration fee and 3 years annual fee is reimbursed. 75% of registration fee and 3 years of annual fee is being reimbursed by the government of India. So you can make your products barcoded. Then in case of financial assistance, there are many number of schemes we have already seen, like Stand Up India, PM Employment Generation Program, then PM Mudra Yojana, etc., etc. Then developing competitiveness. Mr. Kaushik has taken over this very in detail, that lean manufacturing competitiveness scheme, then design clinic scheme, then IPR awareness scheme, then Z certification, that is zero defect and zero effect for higher productivity. Then very important scheme is there, that is GEM, that is government e-marketing. Means in this particular scheme, what is happening, that government is not only promoting the MSME products and not only helping them to sell to the public, but government has made it mandatory to supply these MSME products to their own offices, to their own departments. This particular portal, that is GEM portal, that is government e-marketplace, that is owned and run by the government, where from ministries and PSUs source their procurement. Means whosoever is registered on GEM, his products can be sourced as and when required by the PSUs and ministries. So all the government officers, all the government offices can procure their requirements of whatever material. First preference will go to the GEM portal. They have to go for GEM portal first. If some product is not available there, then they can go to the other people. This started as on November 26, 2021. The GEM portal has served about 8.16 million orders worth 1,59,000 crores from 3.1 million registered sellers and service providers, and 56,000 buyers organizations have sourced their materials from this particular portal. So if any MSME is into some manufacturing or some service providing, they must get registered themselves in this GEM portal. Then, as we know that whenever we cross the age of 40, doctors advise us to monitor our health and go for regular checkup. Similarly, whenever our units are being little stable, or whenever the commercial production has commenced, right from the day one, we must go in for the key performance indicators monitoring. The monitoring of key performance indicators are very, very important. Unless we do this, we will not be able to survive. In this, we can develop like every industry can develop their own KPIs, their own performance indicators. So basic performance indicators idea I'm just giving, that is, one you can monitor is capacity utilization percentage, then production, quantum of production, then yield, whatever is the RM yield we can monitor, and then some other technical parameters, maybe like power and fuel consumption, then boiler efficiency, distillation efficiency, flow rate, fuel factor, some quality parameters, some technical parameters which make a dent on the revenue, which make dent on the your profitability. Those need to be monitored here. And then on financial side, we can monitor revenue, primary margin. Primary margin is nothing but the revenue minus cost of basic raw material, that is primary margin. And then contribution, we all know that revenue minus variable cost, and then operational surplus. So these are the 8 basic indicators which I feel every industry, whether small or big, whether trading or service or wherever it is, whatever it is doing, must monitor. So these are the 5 items which I feel very crucial. And here I expect something from our institute, that institute needs to come out with a comprehensive guidance note on handling of the practical challenges of the MSME sector. We have been talking a lot about the government schemes and how to take the benefit of those, but I feel the handling of practical challenges is also equally important, because sometimes a unit is having funds, is having all technical support, but still it is not able to do well. So those all aspects can be considered. and some effective initiatives must be taken from the institute side to provide guidance to these. Like we have been talking in the MSME task force also, that we can have clinics, cost clinics. So institute can take some initiative to do this. And then value addition will definitely come from this MSME sector. When MSME, like magnificent MSME, government initiatives and CMA's contributions are getting together, we are bound to get the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And just remember that we need to manage these 5 items, that is legal framework, financial discipline, technical upgradation, benefits from government schemes, and performance monitoring. With these 5 items, with these 5 crucial points, we can say that skills of MSME, vigor of government initiatives, and determination of will add immense value to make India Atmanirbhar Bharat. With this, I conclude and wish all our members to make an effort to support MSME sector and make every unit an exemplary one. We should always remember that we have a bigger role in the making Atmanirbhar Bharat. Let's move ahead. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to share my views. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. You started your speech with magnificent MSME. I think that your presentation was very much magnificent, and with the CMAs were very much. Your presentation is very much useful to all of us. Now, I request our President, sir, to give his concluding speech. Sir, please.
It's an excellent session. Both the resource person Ravindra Kausik as well as Madam Josna Paul highlighted all the issues, and he has given what are the schemes, how the cost and management accountants will be able to help the industry, what are the opportunities for cost and management accountants. It's an excellent session, and Srigari Chava is there, and who is heading our agriculture as a convener of agriculture task force. And we are planning for agricultural task force meeting month also in the coming in the May month. So MSME is, as has been highlighted, providing a lot of employment opportunities. It's the backbone of the economy, and as a professional, we have to help the MSME how to come up so that India will be able to achieve the Prime Minister's dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat and the 5 trillion economy at the earliest. As a professional, definitely we will do it. Our MSME task force will be definitely taking to various chapters and at the regional level, various regional languages, so that we'll be able to reach the MSME local associations and have a real benefit of the central schemes and various schemes by the authorities. It's an excellent topic today chosen by Srirampur chapter. I'm thanking Sriram chapter for taking the initiative and conducting the program. Thank you very much. Wishing you all the best and happy and good days ahead. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very, very much. Thank you. So now our Srirampur chapter Vice Chairman CMA Vibhas Saha will move the vote of thanks.
Now, Mr. Mukherjee, we have got a very eminent personality here who happens to be one of the doyen of our MSME sector. We are very fortunate that he has joined after listening that Srirampur chapter is doing such a program. I would request our Dr. Srihari Chaba to speak some few words about this particular program and his feelings that how we are working on the MSME task force for the cause of the MSME entrepreneurs. Over to Dr. Srihari Chaba, sir.
Thank you, Chitto sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yes.
Sir, first and foremost, happy and prosperous New Year to our beloved President Raju sir. I was trying to contact him today, the New Year. I'm in one of my friend's place and he's celebrating New Year. Secondly, as I was talking to CMA Ravi and CMA Josna, I just got one thing in mind. When a medical practitioner tests a patient, they test the temperature first. Like that, we can check the capacity utilization first. That is CMS forte. And second item they check is nowadays saturation. That is whether we are making use of all our resources, which is oxygen, properly or not. That is second one is prudent deployment of resources. Third thing is pulse, whether we are able to generate enough revenue out of it. And this is the third KPI I can say. And fourth, blood pressure. Profit is the bottom line, as also blood pressure of any MSME. This is the small submission I can make to this august body. And our hearty congratulations to Chitto sir, because he is releasing a daily bulletin. Wherever he is there, he is very vocal and very turbulent actually. I should not say. And hearty congratulations once again to Srirampur chapter. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. It's a nice presentations by CMA Ravi and CMA Josna. Jai Hind.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Dr. Chava, sir. Thank you, Dr. Chava. Just I may want to mention one point before my vice chairman will go give a vote of thanks, because this is the another occasion our president sir has been engrossed with this program throughout the time. We are very fortunate that Srirampur chapter, I think our chairman, vice chairman, they should feel fortunate. Generally, we have never seen such a such sort of engrossing attitude of any president, that he has been continuously with us. And in this day of Chaitra Sankranti, tomorrow we will be entering into another new year in Bengal. But our that ends well, which ends well, that goes well. There is a word, proverb. And you see today my president is there with us in the last day of my Chaitra Sankranti. So it's a really great privilege for us. And I must appreciate the way our Ravindra Kaushik and Madam Josna Pal brought the whole theme in such a lucid manner. I would request our chairman to please put it in the website. Request our president, sir. Sir, I think the presentation of Ravindra Kaushik and Madam was really a classic. I was listening to them. Madam, you have told about idea plus innovation is equal to success, right? And that later on, you also told
Yes, sir.
what ideate, innovate, and initiate. That's also you have told, right? Absolutely, you are correct. But as a banker, since I'm a banker, I have to say some few words here, because you have provoked me to tell. You see, ideate, innovate, initiate, and another I you have to mention. And here, I think MSME people are doing a marvelous job for the growth of this country, and they could only help us to every day, as we think that one handful of rice. This is because the toil of one agriculturist. So every day we have to think for agriculturists. Whatever we are using, that is because of the MSME entrepreneurs. That is the implement. One I is implement. So 4 eyes should be there. With these 4 eyes, I think we can definitely help our MSME entrepreneurs in the local level, district level. Of course, our president sir has given us task that we have to come out with some schemes in regional language. Our Dr. Subhro Michael Gomes is still there, who is a very energetic and is having huge connectivity down to the level. President sir, on that day you were present. 30 MSME entrepreneurs from the women sectors. The women, they expressed. Especially, I understand that some of the entrepreneurs, they have come here. They are very, they are very much, having their literacy level is very high, but still they have come. Why? Because they wanted to interact with the people. And I understand that this sort of program we should continue in the chapter level also. We have got enough scope. That is the beginning of itself. So with this, I am sure that our MSME month will be very much important. I would request our president sir to instruct your office, immediately send one letter to the Ministry of MSME, and we shall be having one validity session in a very grand manner involving the MSME ministry and others in this month. With this, I request our vice chairman to please convey his vote of thanks to all the dignitaries over here.
Thank you.
Please.
A very good evening to all. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for the event to all dignitaries assembled here on the webinar Perpetual Sustainability of MSME, with emphasis on various MSME schemes. I would like to thank CMA Raju IR, President, CMA Vijendra Sharma, Vice President of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and CMA Chittoranjan Chattopadhyay, Chairman of Task Force of MSME and Startup of ICAI. My heartfelt thanks to CMA Ravindranath Kaushik and CMA Josna Rajpal, Member Task Force on MSME and Startup of ICI, for accepting our invitation and an excellent presentation on perpetual sustainability of MSME. Last but not the least, I thank you, Chairman of Sirampur Hooghly Chapter, CMA Shantanu Mukherjee, in making this webinar a resounding success. Once again, I would like to thank all of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye bye, sir. Bye bye,
Right.
sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye
sir.
bye. Bye bye, Ravi.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
madam.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.
Nice, Josna.
Madam,
Thank you,
your-
sir.
the
Thank you so
recording has been off. Recording.
Recording done. Recording has been done.
Sir, will you please share this recording with us?
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.